Welcome back to the channel, guys, and today we are doing day one on the job in Football Manager. So the previous video that I'm going to link right above is how to set up your game if you're a beginner or a new player, and this is a video that follows on from that. So let's get into it. So a brand new Football Manager is out and it is still in early access, and if you guys want to pick up the game, then I have a discount code in the description below to get you a couple of extra pounds off. But nevertheless, we are here and it is our first day on the job in Football Manager. So you'll be hit with this screen after you've set up your game. You'll have a few emails about your supporters profile update. You can have a look through that. It has how much percentage you have got of hardcore, core fans, family fans, fair weather fans, corporate fans and casual fans. It'll give you a social media following, season ticket holders, all that good stuff. And then you come down to here where you can negotiate or accept your club's chairman's current vision. I'm going to accept mine because I was quite happy with it. You guys can have a look at it. It's totally up to you. I would just accept it. Don't get into hot water with the board early on. Not clever. And then it gives you an email of the list of players that are out of contract at the end of this current season. Now, Jorginho here, it has enough time remaining on his current contract, which is a year, as it says there, expires in the 30th of June 2024. There's a 1-year extension clause. So if I want to hit that to protect some of his value and not lose him on a free, I would do that. Because he's only 31. He's not amazing, but a good, decent-ish season out of him at the end of the season, I could sell him for 20, 25, even 30 million. And maybe a Saudi team comes in for him. You never know. You get an email every single season about the players that are going to be out of contract, so you aren't going to be be shocked at the end of the season. I'm going to leave the tactical one because that's going to be something I'm going to dive into later on. Pre-season preparation. In your first season on the job in the new team, I would always go tactical because you want to get your ideas across, right? You want the players to be up and running as quickly as possible with your tactics. So yes, definitely for me, I would highly recommend tactical. And then there's just a few ones. Injured players that are injured currently. Registration rules, which you all know them, I think. If you're brand new to football, you might want to have a read through, but you know there's 25 max in the squad, etc., etc. You've got to have minimum of 8 players training in England before their for 3 years before their 21st birthday, all that good stuff. And then it shows you like a sort of overview of the transfer window, who spent the most money, most players in, most players out. Chelsea have been busy, as we know in real life. I might have done deals, obviously the biggest deals. So I would recommend, first things first, is to go into squad. We get hit by this screen. I have my view set up here, Lewis's view, but you guys are probably going to be hit by that, which is still absolutely fine. So the players in this colour here, like a pinky purpley colour, they're the guys out on loan currently. But if you are managing your favourite club, which I definitely would recommend if it's your first try, because first of all, you know the players, you watch them, and you know which ones are good in which positions, or you've got sort of an idea, which will make it easier for you and less frustrating. So I'm an Arsenal fan, so in that respect, I've picked the best team for me. But what you can do is these players out on loan. If you just click the little filter button in the top right corner, and then you can't see because it's behind me, but it's called Not At Club. If you tick the box that says Not At Club, fine. It gets rid of all the players that you can't use just yet. And then now you have the players that are available to you. Obviously, if you want, you can go to Filtered into the under-21s. If you wanted to pick someone out of the under-21s to use, no problem. Sort by ability, like Ethan Nwaneri. He's a youngster that I would probably try and get off the bench a couple of times. So I would right-click on him and move him to my senior squad. Same with Miles Lewis Skelly. I would put them in my first team because I want to give them some game time. I want them guys to be very, very, very important members of my squad going forward. But what I would do is I would click them there on the left-hand side and just make them available for the under-21s or under-18s, whichever you want. I'll probably do under-18s for a season. And then they are training with the first team. They will learn from the first team players, but they will still play for the under-18s, which I think is optimal for their development. So after that, what you can do if you really want is you can go into your goalkeepers and have a look at all the goalkeepers you've got. You can look at the defender right backs you've got, if you've got enough, left backs if you've got enough, centre backs if you've got enough, all that, right? Whatever formation you play, you can see which areas of the team you haven't got enough of, or you've got too many of and you might want to sell. All them good things. And then the next thing I would do, because of the tactical screen, is personally for me, I like to create my own style and my own tactics, but there is some things here that might help you. Obviously, Arsenal, you're probably looking at control possession, maybe a gegenpress. Also, my assistant manager recommended wing play. I understand why he's done that because we've got Saka and Martinelli who are very strong. But you're probably looking at a vertical tiki-taka or a gegenpress or a control possession with Arsenal. But I like to go on my own style. It's totally up to you. You want to click them, that's absolutely fine. I do that, and then I'll pick a 4-3-3 just for ease. And it's sort of what Arsenal play in real life with Ødegaard a little bit higher. But, right, so now you'll be hit with this screen. Actually, you'll be hit with this screen. I like to change that. I'll come on to that why later. So, we've hit this screen, and we want to put the players in each position. So, we go back onto the squad screen, and we click on ability. And it shows you the best players at your club. So, Ødegaard, Saka, Declan Rice are my 3 best players on Football Manager. Now, you guys might disagree with that. You guys might think Saliba is, or I don't know, Martinelli. You might love Gabriel, whoever you guys like. But FM has rated Ødegaard, Saka, and Rice as the best players. Now, obviously, we're going to play those 3 anyway. So we're going to put Martin Ødegaard, and we're going to drag his name, and we're going to put him midfield right centre because that's where he plays in real life. You don't have to do that. You can put them entirely wherever you want. But I'm going to do this just for the sake of the video. I'm going to put Zinchenko there. I'm going to put Saliba on the left. I'm going to basically set it up like real life. You don't have to. You really don't have to. Actually, I'm going to put Declan Rice there. And I'm going to put Thomas Partey there. And we're going to have Kai Havertz on the bench. Ben White right back. I go Gabriel left centre back. And then we're going to pick Ramsdale or Raya. I'm going to go Ramsdale. You guys can go Raya. It's up to you. And then Martinelli there. So we've got our first team. Right. Now what we want to do is we want to sort our tactic out. Because we want to know how we want to play. So if you guys have clicked, for example, if you've just gone for control possession because you want to focus on returning possession, then you'll be hit with this and it'll show you all the things that it does to help you. It's basically like a preset thing to help you out. So I would recommend taking use of those. And then as the game goes on and you get a bit more confident, a bit more knowledgeable, then you can tweak these if you think things are not working. For example, a mid block, as Arsenal, you might want to high press. You might want to change that. Totally up to you. But yeah, we want to look at our different roles. Saka, for me, is very good as an inside forward or an inverted winger. I would probably say inside forward. Same with Martinelli. Again, it's totally up to you guys what you want to use. There's a lot of tactical things. I'll be making a video on creating your own tactics and a deeper dive in all that. I'm just scratching the surface here because this game is for beginners. I don't want to go all too deep into tactics. But basically, you want to set the roles how you want them. And this is how you put people in each other's positions. And then obviously there's a sub bench. If you just right click, it gives sub 1, right click, sub 2, sub 3, sub 4, sub 5, sub 6. You get the idea, and it goes all the way up to 15 because we've got friendlies playing. Which leads us on to the next thing, which is friendlies. So as we hit schedule, we go into this screen here. Now, I like to organize my own. You guys might not if they've already set some up like we have here against FC Sion, Carlisle and ADO Den Haag, a very random set. We want to click here. Underneath my cam box, it says arrange friendly right underneath. There we go. We hit that. And we get this screen. And friendlies are very important to get you guys as a team up to match practice so they're sharp and also so they know your tactics. I like to arrange 8 friendlies. I know that might sound like a lot, but it always does me really well. It's totally up to you. So, first game of the season is here against Man City, next to my cam box on the left-hand side here, right? On the 5th of August, right here. So what I like to do is I like to organise my first friendly a week just before that. And we've got a nice week break and bang into the season. So click that one there. If you want to arrange multiple at the same time, we click the friendly match at the top and it comes down, it says multiple friendly matches, you can do up to 4. Well, I like to do my first one there. We've got one there, we've got one there, we've got one there. So what I would do now is I would arrange some in the training camp. So one there. We'll go one there. And we'll go another one there. And that will take me up to 7 friendlies. And I could organise one there on the 4th. I won't do because it's really close and I don't want injuries. I want a bit of training first in the first game. So we can just search with whatever friendly and whatever teams you want. This looks like we're in a training camp in Salzburg. Arsenal have got one in Salzburg. So it's going to give me teams based on that. So whichever you want, it doesn't really matter. You can have big games, long games, or not games, and then you click confirm, and then it'll say friendly proposal. If you click continue once, it will accept those unless someone's got a big fixture congestion, and then they'll reject it. It'll tell you you can rearrange it, no problem. So we've got our friendly set up, we've got our players and our tactics, and we've got sort of an idea of what we want to do tactically. The next thing I want you guys to look at are the staff and the responsibilities. So if you're new to Football Manager, which I'm assuming because you're watching this video up to this point, then you guys might want to delegate some tasks to your staff. So if we click on staff, responsibilities, and then we click on staff members. All things down here, again, as always, don't get too overwhelmed. You just have to have a quick skim over it. You don't have to read every single one. It's not going to like make or break. It's not going to kill. It's not going to lead to a sack. The tactics, the players, and the other things will lead to that. This one, it's just something that you can look to do. It's totally up to you. So if you don't want to hire your own staff members, which is a first team staff, you can set that to recommended staff members. So your managing director and Edu, your technical director, will do that for you. So they will bring in physios, scouts, loan managers, coaches, chief scouts, and head of youth developments if they think that's necessary. Now, obviously, I take over my own, but I'm not a beginner. So you guys do exactly what you want to do. You can leave it as you want at the start and then change it. You don't have to do this at the start, but I'm showing you it in the video because I want to let you guys know that it's possible to do so you're not getting overwhelmed, right? The aim of this video is for you to get into Football Manager and learn and not be overwhelmed and be like, oh my God, it's too much, I can't do it. It's fine. You don't have to do all this stuff. It's quite easy to maintain once you get to grips of the game. So what I would say is just play the game and whatever happens, happens. If you get the sack, so what? Carry on. You will have learnt a lot from the first time, right? You go into a new game, you start the new game up, you load again. If you want to be the same team, you be the same team. If you want a different team or a different country or whatever, totally up to you, but you will be better off for just playing the game. People say, how do I get into Football Manager? Just play it. You don't have to get involved in all this. You can literally, if you want, you can start the game up, you can put players in a position, and you can just hit continue, continue, continue. You can go into scouting, into the player search, and click on new search. Again, you can click on positions that you think you might want, right? Let's say you want a centre midfielder. So you click in the central midfield because obviously that's defensive midfielder, that's centre back, attacking midfielder, striker, right? You guys know that. But that's the centre midfielder. We click OK, and then we sort by value. And then that are the best players that want to join value-wise. So we've got Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott would like to join, but they're a lot of money, so we don't want them, guys. But if you go down, I've got 5 million to spend, but let's say you have 50 million to spend. You want to come down and have a look, and I don't know, we might want Chouameni. Right, we might want Chouameni. We could probably get him for 40 million, rising to 60, something like that. And then you just do that deal and then just continue. Put him in the squad and play the game as it is. You don't have to get involved in all the things I'm showing you about in this video, but I'm going to show you the things inside this video and try and help you a little bit in case you end up wanting to dip your toes into that area of the game. But if we just jump back into the staff and responsibilities section just a little bit more, before we move on, I showed you how you can delegate things, but to start with, the game does usually delegate the right things. It'll give you a decent amount. So hiring and firing of staff, they'll take care of themselves usually. But there is more. So you can do scouts. You can, again, at the start, assigning scouts will be left by your chief scout. Now, you can take over that if you want to do that. I will be doing another video on how to send your scouts out. I'll be going into deep depth about every single aspect of the game. But this is sort of like a little toe in the water. So at the start, I think the game has it quite right in things that it gives you and the things that it delegates. So it's nothing. You've got nothing massively to worry about as soon as you start the game up. Just like I said before, just literally you can just put players in a tactic and continue if you really want. And you might get the sack, you might not. You might do fantastically well, but you will learn from playing the game, which is what we want to do. Because once we're into the game and we're enjoying it, you will never have played a game like it, I absolutely promise you. So, next up we have dynamic screen, and the dynamic screen is a very important screen. Again, nothing to be worried about, just an important screen that you guys can have. Just keep your eye on every now and again. And it is basically the team cohesion. So it's your team's collective state, mental state. It's how players know where each other are going to be. So, for example, if we look at, for example, Liverpool under Klopp a few years back when they were really clicking, they were just, everybody knew what everyone was going to do. Henderson was closing down for Salah, Trent was getting up, Robertson up the other side. Everyone knew where everyone was going to be. at every single point in time. That is what team cohesion is, right? If you've got a low team cohesion because you've signed loads of players in a short space of time, they won't know each other. It'll take them a while to gel. So basically look at team cohesion as the amount your squad has gelled together. To get that up, I will also be doing another video in depth on that. But basically, playing games, playing friendlies, and making less signings will help with that, alongside a few other things inside training, which I'll come to soon. Club atmosphere is pretty obvious. So if you've got unhappy players, if you've got players of a similar age, that goes in your favour, like it says there. Club has many players who share similar friends. So if you've had players that have been in the squad for a long time, you'll have better atmosphere rather than new players. Same nationalities, obviously that just does help. Obviously you can find really good friends in other nationalities, but it's just like a homely thing, isn't it? So for example, if you're in Germany, it's basically the same if there's loads of German players. And then obviously different levels of professionalism is also there. So like unprofessional players might not get on with really professional players, so signing players that fit is always a good thing. Next thing, we have managerial support. So that is all on you. So what the players think of you. Obviously, I've just joined Arsenal, so they're a little bit wary. They're not against me, but they're not for me yet. I've got to win them over, right? So basically, I've got a strong influence over a number of the players just because of my profile of my thing. I chose the best reputation and the best coaching badges. So I start off with an advantage. You guys can do that if you want to help yourselves. If you want to make it more of a challenge, which I don't recommend this early on, then obviously put that down a bit. Win a few games, that will go up. That'll take care of itself. So look after these two here on the left-hand side in the middle, and then the right one will take over itself. Next up, we have the staff members, and here it tells you all about the staff. So you can have one assistant manager, and we have got one. So it says 1 out of 1. We can have one head of youth development, and we've got one. We've got 5 spots left in coaches, so we can sign 5 coaches. And we've got a set-piece coach, yada, yada, yada. You know what I'm saying. Here we've got 6 spots there on scouts because we've got 14 out of 20 allowed by the board. And we can also hire 2 physios if we so want to, which I will be doing that. It also tells you if you guys have got the good squad, good staff members, sorry, in your ratings. So the little grey bars there is the average. So my goalkeeping, shot stopping is below average. It's the 15th in the Premier League. So I might want to look to upgrade my goalkeeping coaches. My defensive coaches are above average, but they're still 10th in the Premier League, and that's not good enough for Arsenal. My attacking coaches are the 8th in the Premier League. Again, not good enough for Arsenal. We want these in the top 4, really. So I'll be doing a complete overhaul of the coaches. Again, I will be diving into that in another video. But if we want to skim the surface on this video, because I don't want to overwhelm people, all you have to do is click on staff, go on staff search. It pops up with all the staff. You click on new search. It's basically like searching for players. And then we just click staff role, coaching, and I'm going to look for coaches, right? So it said my attacking coaches are the 8th best in the Premier League, so I want to look at attacking coaches. So if we click this button here, and we click on coaching attributes, and on this side, it's the attack, and then we click attack, and then these guys are the best attacking coaches. Next up, we have training, and as it's already early in pre-season, this is going to be very heavy. If you look at these bars underneath the training sessions, it shows you how intense they are, and the percentage of the game load in each one. So obviously that's a really low one. It's having a bit of a rest and a recovery there. So at the end of the week, they're having a bit of recovery after the really physical pre-season start to training. This obviously shows you every single week in an inbox message. You can mess around with it. I wouldn't. I'm just going to show you like a little bit about it. Something that I would definitely consider as the season's going on. So if we get to, for example, March, and the coaches are deciding to put these on really high, I would probably go in there and just change them. So if there's a physical in there, in like at the end of the season, I would probably just right click on physical and then just go to rest and just give them an extra rest. We don't look, the bar's gone down now, the intensity. This is obviously pre-season, so it's fine because we're building match sharpness up. But we don't want to be absolutely like putting them through their paces and making them do bleep tests and ridiculous running in March, because it'll just tire them out. And it's sometimes a bit of an issue with the AI. So just keep an eye on it. Again, it's not a massive problem. It won't make your season fall apart, but it's something to keep an eye on and just change it as and when. Obviously, you've got the players that are training well and the players that aren't training well. Up next, we're on our competition screen on the left-hand side here, and it basically shows you all the cups you're in, all the competitions that you are competing in. obviously the Community Shield, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Champions League, and Premier League. It will show you the league table. When it starts, it will show you the Champions League groups, and wherever you are, same. Just a nice little way to keep on top of where you all are if you really want to. So we've got the transfer screen up next, and we have things called clauses inside here. So this screen at the first, the transfer center, will tell you all the transfers that are coming in and out. If you've agreed a deal for someone on a free transfer, it'll show you when he's coming in. If someone's leaving, it will show you on the screen. But yes, the transfer clauses here can allow you, if you have them, to get a bit of extra cash. So you can sell clauses. So here, if I sell Daniel Ballard's clause that he went to Sunderland with, I can receive an extra £1 million from Sunderland early on. But I waiver the right to 40% of the profit made on his next transfer. So it's up to you. I could hope that he goes for more money and get more money, or I could sell it now and get a bit less. It's short term. So I've got an extra £1 million just there. If I go now into my thing, I've got 5.94, basically 6 million. You can gain a little bit of extra transfer funds doing this. Only the ones next with the pound signs next to it. Obviously, if these are players that you've bought, you will have to spend money in the short term. If I think, for example, Kivior is going to stay at this club and play 43 more games, I might want to buy that clause so I save a bit of money. It's quite negligible at a club like Arsenal. It's like 200 grand. But if you want to do that, it's totally up to you. If you're at a club that's smaller, 200 grand might be a lot more money. And that's about it, basically. We've got Leandro Trossard and Fabio Vieira. But those guys are probably going to play a lot of games, so I don't need to do that. But it's just a quick extra way to get a bit more transfer budget if you want. Another way to get extra transfer budget is if you click on this little button here. Well, it's a big button, actually. If you click on it, and it shows you, you can move it around. So I've got 200 grand per week left in my wage budget. But I might want more transfer budget. I might want one player to sign who's going to get 100 grand a week. So what I might do is I might put more money for that. Now I have 100 grand and 10 million rather than 200 grand and 6 million. So I've gained an extra 3 million, but I've wavered an extra like 72k on the wage budget. You can move it around whenever you want. Next up is Club Vision, and here you actually make your requests to your board. Up on the top right corner, it says make board request. You can ask for better facilities. You can ask for more junior coaching, more transfer budget, wage budget. You can ask them to increase the next season's transfer budget. You can also ask for affiliate clubs if you want. It's totally up to you. Again, something that won't break the game. You don't have to do these things. But as and when, if you remember, if you want to jump back to these videos, these tutorials, and do it, it'll give you a better situation. Because if you get your facilities up to the maximum, your players will be improving at the fastest possible rate, which will lead to more wins, more success, and more fun for you. Obviously, in here, you can ask for new contracts. If you think you deserve one, you can ask them to build a new stadium if you're filling out your stadium. And also if you need extra staff members. If you've hit your limit and you want more, it will show up here and you can ask for more staff members. Next up, we have the finances page. And again, it's just a lot of numbers. You don't really have to worry about it too much. I would worry about this overall balance one, really. I mean, you could look at the profit loss each month. But again, it's a big club, which I would suggest you do start your FM experience. You probably will make money because in the top divisions, they've got the most sponsorships, highest rep, and they get the most money. So, yeah, just look at the overall balance. Next up here, we have the Development Centre, and it basically looks after all the players in your academy team. So the under-21s and the under-18s, and your youth intakes that happen every single year. At the end of the season, usually, every country has different dates. In England, I think it's the end of March. But you will get a message on your inbox about that. So don't worry about it. But they're basically called Nugents. And they're made-up players that come into your academy that are based on your facilities. So the better the facilities, the better the young players that come in through your academy. Right? Makes sense. So I totally understand that in this video, I've gone through a lot of things. And you don't have to watch all the video in once if you think it's overwhelming you. What you can do is start a game up, play the first couple of minutes of the video, and then get familiarised with that. And then start the next bit of the video, and then pause it, and then whatever. You don't have to watch all the video, get overwhelmed. And I'm trying to skim over these as much as I possibly can without overwhelming, but I'm also trying to give you enough information so you're like, oh, I know what to do. It's quite a hard balance, and if I've not got it on a few instances, please write in the comments if you've something you're struggling with, because I will help you out, and I will answer every single question as best as I can. But again, it's a big game. I'm trying to get the right balance, and if I don't, I apologise for that. Let's say that you want more than one tactic. You've got your first tactic. You might want to make one that's really attacking and one that shuts out matches. Totally up to you. Click on the plus switch up here, and then it's the same sort of thing as last time. You can click create new tactic, and then like I said, you can click on park the bus if you want. You can click on direct or fluid counter-attack, or you can make your own. It's totally up to you. So yeah, that's how you make more tactics. This little thing here is how much your players as a whole know your tactics. So if you're getting frustrated with results, have a look at this here. If it's half like this and you're not getting results, give it a bit more time. Don't just keep swapping and changing, because that can be really detrimental. If this is like 80% plus and you're still getting bad results, then maybe it's the tactic. Maybe you want to be having a look at things inside the match and trying to change things, or you might just want to change things entirely. It's totally up to you. Up next, we have individual player profiles, and what you can do from this screen, well, there's a lot, but again, I'm going to try and calm it down for you. So you can have a look at his happiness. If he's happy, again, a lot of writing. Basically, you will know if someone's annoyed, because right here in between, on the information screen, it will say UNH, which is unhappy, or it will say WNT, which is someone is wanted. So you will get that information. You don't have to go into every single player's profile, but I'm just going to show you and let you know that it's all there if you want to have a look in more depth. Because some people might be watching this and being like, I really want to jump in and play all in. Some people are like, nope, I just want to play as little as possible, do as little as possible, or just play matches. That's also totally fine, but I'm just letting you guys know that it is all here if you want to have a look. So if players are interested, it's there. If you want to look at individual training, it's there. If you want to look at individual scouting reports from your assistant manager, so my assistant manager thinks that he's a professional individual. He's got a very good ability to spot a pass and create chances, but he's got poor heading ability. But he's also consistent. So you guys can have a look at that. He also enjoys big matches. That's what my assistant manager, Albert Stuyvenberg, thinks. On the player profile page, we also have something that can help you guys out quite a lot. So if you click the highlight button, and this is ticked already, it should be, mine wasn't, but I've ticked it on to show you guys. And then you can see here it says that attributes in green with a green bar across them is key attributes for that position and that role, and blue ones are preferable. So if you're wondering what makes a good Mezzala, you click on the position that he's going to be playing in. So for Martin Odegaard, it's going to be central midfield for me. And obviously, he plays slightly like a Mezzala in real life because he plays off to the side towards Saka and that right-hand side. I'm going to click on the Mezzala role there, right? And what it does is it shows you all the things that are key for a Mezzala. So the green ones, remember, are key, and the blue ones are preferable. So acceleration, a little bit lower than I would like because he's not the fastest, and that is something that's key for a Mezzala. But again, it doesn't mean you shouldn't use him as one. It just means it's a guide, so it's up to you. So if that was like 9 acceleration, okay, maybe. But again, if everything else is good, you can probably let slip a few attributes. But it's just something to let you know how good a player is at each position and role. So if we want to go to have a look how good a Martin Odegaard is in attacking midfield, in the attacking midfield support role, there we can see. If we want to change that to the attacking midfield attack role, we click that, and then it shows you the ones for attacking midfield attack. As you can see, the stars rating changed then. So Martin Odegaard, for example, would be better as an attacking midfield support, as the game suggests, because he changes to 4 stars. I changed that back to attack. It goes to 3.5 stars. Now, you will also see those stars here on the tactics screen. A lot of people just try and get the best stars for each one. Now, it's not necessarily a good thing because, for example, if you're playing with, let's say, both your midfielders are really attacking and they're both more suited to Mezzala attack, and you go and do this, right? Now, mine aren't because Declan Rice is better at other roles, but let's say, for argument's sake, I've got 2 Martin Odegaards and they're both really good at Mezzala attack. That will probably leave me quite open to transition. They will probably be sat up there, and then Partey's all on his own. So just because it's the highest star rating doesn't mean it's the most balanced for your formation. They're a guide. They're not an absolute truth. So that's it for this video. If you liked the video, please leave a like. If you like the channel in general, please leave a subscription. That would be fantastic. This year, we are going to be bringing out a lot more guides for beginners and more in-depth for advanced people. So if you guys learn on this and then you're thinking, oh, I'm a quick learner, I might want to get involved in that, I've always wanted to, then my channel this year will have depth guides about pretty much everything in the game. I'm going to be doing a tactical one, how to create your own. I'm going to be doing how to set up your own scouting. I'm going to be doing staff members, just everything that you could possibly do. What to do after you got promotion, what to do if you're struggling against relegation. We're going to be doing almost everything, and I'm going to try and cover every area of the game on FM24 so you guys can have a look at everything in general. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.